Hey everyone, this is Long, and thank you for watching in advance. Here today to talk about Diablo 4. Um, if you guys haven't heard, Blizzard released or did a live stream a couple of days ago about the some of the upcoming changes and things they want to address, kind of like a mini roadmap, um, due to some of the issues the players have seen themselves. So, kind of let's get right into that. That's on June 16, a couple days ago. Okay, item bugs. So, Druids having their loot tables fixed, great thing. Resolved before Season 1, great thing. World Boss caches in Tier 4 require level player 80. I think this is to prevent players' friends from power leveling or dragging their underlevel characters into Tier 4. So they probably wanted to put this in there to prevent kind of any shenanigans. That's fine, not that big a deal. Okay, disconnect protection. This is an interesting one. So the team acknowledged that there have been issues with characters dying when they should be invulnerable or during loading screens. If you guys haven't seen the clip, look up Quinn69's death on Diablo 4 Hardcore. His character was made it to the end of the Nightmare Dungeon. The end of the Nightmare Dungeon, there's a invulnerability bubble where players should not be taking any damage. He took a town portal, and there was an unusually long loading screen, and he decided to alt F4. Well, when he came back into the game, his character was dead, and there was an hardcore means his character is permanently deleted. It shows a cause of death, and it's an environment. We're still not sure what happened. There's some speculations, but the fact is that under invulnerability and during a loading screen, his character still managed to die. So it really should be resolved sooner than later. As well as this next bit, which is the player has scroll escape in their inventory when they disconnect, they get it will consume and teleport to town. As a massive disconnect enjoyer, this has not worked for me. I think the issue is that Blizzard servers will not be able to detect when there's an actual disconnect or not. This can affect players in other regions with high ping or even spotty connection. So I think they're trying to kind of figure out the conservative way to make this a feature so that we can detect when it's a true disconnect as opposed to just spotty internet connection, right? But the fact is that this change is planned for Season 2. It's very far out. And for casual gamers that may want to dabble into hardcore, this doesn't look very good. It means it's about that means that this is planned for 6 months out, as their seasons are about 3 months, based on what Blizzard said in the past. But hopefully they fix it soon. Moving on to resistance and changes. This is the one I want to talk about, right? So changes will be made to how resistances are adjusted in higher world tier. This change is intended to make resistance stats more desirable. However, it's also only planned for Season 2, not implemented in Season 2. The team has acknowledged that resistances have been weaker compared to other damage stat mitigation, and they want resistances to feel more significant. So in previous Diablo games, Diablo 2, Diablo 3, as you moved up in higher difficulty, you took a resistance penalty. So, for example, normal, you might have 0 resistance penalty. When you get into Nightmare, which next difficulty, I think you took like a minus 20 or minus 30%. Anytime you go negative, you took more damage based on the percent. When you're in the positive, you would take less damage. So to make it a little bit more challenging, you had to get more gear that had more resistances, so you offset the penalty, so you don't just get deleted in one shot from mobs. So if the percentage was minus 30% of fire, if a fire source hit you, you took 30% more fire. Pretty straightforward. I think it's interesting that they decided to plan this for Season 2 and not have a full fix by then. This seems a little bit more straightforward to me. And to prove that, we're going to show you, Blizzard. I'm going to show you, Blizzard, how to fix this right now. Okay? We have the spreadsheet here. Incoming damage. This represents damage coming in. Whatever calculation is, based on world difficulty, based on nightmare tier, whatever variables you have, this represents the final damage. Your resistance on gear is your percent. It's your visual, what the player sees as their gear, on their gear. So if you have 50% or 75% in this case, you have 75% damage mitigation towards that source. And this is your final damage taken. So we extrapolate this, right? This is, that much damage, that's that much damage, more damage, more damage. And let's say you had 20%, you had 0, you had, 33%, and then you had another 50%. You guys get the point. That's your final damage. I mean, it's not that hard, right, Blizzard? It shouldn't be that hard, right? 1/3 of 5,123 is mitigated. Your end final damage is 3,432, right? Your incoming damage is 100. You have 75% resistance on gear. Your final damage taken is 25%. Not that hard, right? Okay, moving on. Inventory management. Starting Season 2, gems will be included in the materials tab. Material cap limits will be increased. This will occur before Season 1. This is more of an interesting one, see, because I honestly thought, this is more straightforward. I mean, like, why make it more complex, right? So, for example, if this was your inventory in-game, right, you have these tabs, right? So, for example, let's make this black, and then let's do this again here. You had an inventory tab. You had consumables. You have you have aspects, and then I think there was a fourth tab. I can't remember what it was. I think it was like other or something, right? So, for example, let's do a text box. Let's put that here. This was your inventory, right? Okay, then this was your aspects, consumables, and then other, whatever it was, right? You have 4 tabs. Wouldn't it make sense, instead of going this whole material system, to just add another tab right there? Gems. Done. You already have these tabs. Why can't you just copy and paste it, right? Just copy and paste a snippet of code and add it in, right? Now, how do you unlock this? I mean, I honestly thought you guys would do something like this, right? You unlock this tab, right? Let's make another one. Hey, one tab isn't enough for gems. Let's make a second one. Then let's do a third one, right? You can do this kind of indefinitely, right? Just add another tab here, right? And to unlock it, you need more $signs. I don't understand why this is going to take Season 2. And you're making this in the materials tab. Sure. Overly complicating it. Sure. Okay, Renown. Blizzard teams are evaluating what Renown systems will be need to be repeated as part of new seasons. The portion of the map has been discovered in Internal Realm will remain discovered in seasonal realms. The Renown associated with these explorable areas will also be rewarded automatically to each new character. Similarly, altars of Lilith have been previously discovered will remain discovered on future characters. Okay, so Blizzard, you're making these things overly complicated. Okay, I'll show you how easy this is. Okay, so I have this. Your current Renown system, you have some stuff that is once unlocked once, it unlocks account wide. You have some stuff that only unlocks for the current character. Going to new season, what's going to happen? Well, right now you have softcore. So you have right now softcore. You have unlock account wide. You have things that unlock or character specific. Okay. Well, in hardcore, it's a different bucket. So now you have to unlock things specifically on hardcore. You have things that unlock for that character specific in hardcore. That's 4 different buckets. So for each season, right, moving forward, you got to figure out these things again. On top of that, you're now trying to further decide and fragment what's unlocked and what's not. Like, just making this overly complex. Okay, if you really want to keep this system, I would say ditch the existing system you have now. Keep it as is. Don't try to decide or cherry pick what gets unlocked and what has to be redone by the player. Okay, just keep it as is. Add renown gain when you're doing nightmare dungeons. That's the end game anyways. So just add 10 renown, 50 renown, 15 renown, whatever number renown for each time when a player completes a nightmare dungeon. If players want to chase a side quest, make it a once and done kind of a thing. If, let's say, I didn't complete some side quests in Kiyovisha, but I did it in the season, it should account wide, right? Or you can add more side quests in the future as well, or add the renown gain to the events in the whispers, right? That's another way to go about that too. You can make it minimal because it's kind of a repeatable thing. Make it 5 or 10 renown each one, you're good. But the point is that trying to separate what is kept in the account or unlocked in the account once and trying to separate what needs to be redone on each season, it's very complex and very convoluted. It's going to be impossible to keep track of moving forward as you guys add new things in. Okay, so uncomplicate this. Was it? All right. Okay, moving forward. Nightmare Dungeon buff. That's another one. So your Nightmare Dungeons rewarding more XP. It should be immediately added in. I see that here these changes are planned to release before season 1. That's a great thing. That's a win. Currently, right now, it's a huge grind. I do wish the glyphs that are placed in to your Paragon board, that they, instead of being only usable really at level 15, chunk the reward out so that you get it more frequently. So what I mean by that is maybe at level 5, you get a smaller reward, level 10, you get another reward, and level 15, the overlay gets large, and then 21, I think, is cap, which is more damage, right? Just visually for the player, you get incremental rewards as opposed to this one big gain at the end, more or less at the end of the grind. It's a little weird, considering that the whole point of these ARPGs is to get incremental rewards and to blow up big packs of mobs, right? Okay. Dungeon nerfs. This thing, kind of, I guess it was needed based on whatever metrics you guys had. This happened where certain packs of mobs density was higher in one dungeon or the other, and players have been spamming normal dungeons in order to level quickly. You guys were so quick to nerf this, and yet you could have just bumped up the density of elites in all the other dungeons. It's quite fascinating to me that you guys just immediately nerf this, and yet, when players are dealing with other issues, such as this, we can't really play the game. Well, Necros have this ability where on Corpse Explosion, it completely blankets and darkens the screen, right? I really don't understand how this made it out of QA. Look at that. It's completely dark. I can't barely play and see my character. I mean, I have character highlight right there. I have character highlight on, and I can barely see my character. Not to mention, there's ground effects that happen that are pretty common mechanics. I won't be able to see that either, right? So this is like a player punishing kind of a thing, and yet this still isn't being fixed now, right? I understand you guys did say you guys noticed, we're aware of this, you guys are getting it fixed. But this should have been fixed immediately. And I don't understand why we have to wait, as players, we have to wait so long. Now, just thinking about this, you have a game where we have to pay $70 for to purchase, and he decides to sell cosmetics, which is fine based on a live service, right? Why would I purchase cosmetics for my character when I can't see it on my character based on a class's ability? Why would I purchase a cosmetic when I can't even see my character? Right? Like think about that for a second. You know. Um, with that being said, though, I think everything else is good. Right? 350 million hours played. That's amazing uh, for a game that's only been out for what, 2 weeks. Um, there's a large client coming. That's amazing, awesome. Just I wish you guys kind of gave a date here. Before season one, there's a big difference between coming out today or on June 9th. Today's June 18th for me, so there's a big difference between June 18th, quote unquote, before season one, and mid July, the day before season one. There's a big difference between that. I do hope these issues are addressed sooner than later. With that being said, vast majority of D4 players have not yet completed the campaign. Understandable. Many of us are older gamers, have lives, have kids, have other obligations. Completely understandable. But that's that. I think with that being said, I addressed all the issues there, mostly the resistance one. Um, that was more or less a kind of a joke. I like to kind of poke fun at things here. But yeah, I look forward to these and want to continue to play. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.